Okay, it says that I
are live. Hello, everybody. Got to get some links posted.
Yes, we got a linkity link.
Link. Wait for that little ka-bing, ba-bing, ba-bing, boom, boom notices pop up, and there it is.
I just got a notification that Dancing Bear Indian Trader is live on my iWatch.
Did you take a pulse? Well, it's on your iWatch. You can take your own pulse.
Let's see what my pulse is.
What's your pulse?
Okay, let me see. I'm checking. It's 81 beats per minute. Is that good?
It's kind of high.
Probably because I'm excited about tonight.
Good point.
Let's see. Okay. We're sharing. Everyone, hey, share it.
I'm starting to share myself.
Hey, you know what? It's not showing the whole screen.
Say what?
I'm not seeing the whole screen. I see it says James Hermes and Svea Kamori. James Hermes, Svea Kamori.
It's on mine. I don't. We'll see if we can fix that here right quick. Let me finish sharing a link. We got 5 people watching so far. Let us know who you are.
Let's see here. Did this get set up so that everyone can share? All participants. Here we go. It wasn't set up.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. It's working now. So can you reshare that?
Did you?
So now everyone can share.
Yes. Okay, I got one link share. Let me go get some others here right quick.
See here.
All right, getting it going.
Hey, everyone.
All right. Hello, everybody. There's so many little settings to do for this.
Let's see. Share.
And Facebook almost never behaves the same way twice.
So people that are watching, tell us who you're, tell us where you're visiting from. We'd love to give you a shout out. Some of our regulars are on there, hopefully. Let's see.
Okay, got my shares done. We are 5 minutes and 45 seconds. If you all noticed, we have a countdown timer now. Okay, are you seeing just James Hermes on the live, or are you seeing the video?
I've seen no video.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me see if I can fix that right quick.
If you can't, we just sign off.
How's this? Yeah, we may change these around a little bit. Folks, we're trying with some new systems right quick.
I think we need to sign off and sign back on.
Nope. I know what to do.
You know what to do?
Yep. Okay, so that's a Facebook feature because I'm seeing it on my end. So let me fix that right quick. It's a new thing for the countdown timer. Sometimes you just run across some technical difficulties.
I see it. It's there now. Awesome. Okay, let's see.
It won't last very long. Why did it do that? I'm gonna have to play with that.
Oh, it went away?
Yeah. You know, it's just a new setup right now. We'll go with it for now. But we had our countdown timer, now we don't. We'll play with that. We'll have it ready for next week. Sometimes it is. Yes, Mr. Gallagher, Mr. Jose Bear Gallagher's screen is black. We were trying to mess with a new feature of the countdown timer for the show. Sometimes you got a lot of settings you got to do, and one little click, and little thing isn't clicked, and one little thing over here is clicked just the right way. But in that long process, one little thing kind of throws it off. So we got that figured. We'll get that worked out for next week. We'll go back to our traditional hold screen, and we'll just tell everybody how long. Right now, we're at 4 minutes.
Okay, cool, Leo.
Yep.
Gotta
Cracker Jacks.
Gotta go with the flow sometimes.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, you want to hear this?
What?
Oh, hold on. You know what?
I can't hear over the crackle of my Cracker Jacks.
You know what? It's funny. I don't have my awesome mic plugged in. I'm using the computer mic. Huh.
No wonder you sound so deep voiced like John Wayne.
Oh.
It's the mic, Savea, not you.
Yeah.
Let me hear you talk now.
Hello, my name.
Now you sound like Savea.
Oh, that's mean. So mean.
It's not being mean. God, you accuse me of being mean, and here I'm being as nice as I can to you.
Mean.
I guess it's kind of mean, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, you know.
Does that sound better? Do I sound like John?
You sound like Savea.
Okay. That's the better one.
Is this Savea?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
Proof.
I'm my evil twin.
Your camera's off.
The camera's off because we're not live. We're live, but we're not showing our cameras yet.
Yeah. All right. Tonight, folks, just well, we got a few minutes till we get going. Let's let you know our guest tonight is Jilly Hopke from Jillycakes.
So
This is we are going to blow your mind tonight
yes.
on what you can do with a cake.
Yes.
What can be done with a cake.
Awesome.
It is neat.
I think that a lot of people are going to be really just amazed by how awesome she is.
Amazed.
Mm-hmm. It's so cool. It's
warrior.
So cool. And just think, if I didn't wear that dress that one day in Japan in Tokyo Disneyland, I never would have met her.
I hope you tell that story. That is a neat story.
I am.
Oh,
It's such a cool story. I'll save it for our story.
Save it for the show because it's cool. All right, we're just a couple minutes away. All right, I see. Let's see who else is watching. See Jose Bear Galagos. Who else is watching? Let us know who you are. Come on. All right. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Okay. Gotta get a drink of water, get my singing voice ready.
Yeah, you're singing.
Everybody, we have some cool announcement to make at the beginning of the show. Awesome announcement. Savea, aren't you going to make a cool announcement too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're making it together.
Yes.
Awesome, pure awesomeness.
Yeah, you guys are going to be so excited.
Earth shattering.
It's a lot of just amazingness.
Pure amazingness. I'm going to invent a word. It's not amazing. It's not the amazest or amazer. It's the amaze-est.
Hi, Myra. My friend Myra's watching. Myra, oh my gosh, you're going to love the stuff we're going to show today. You're going to love the show.
Hello, Myra.
So Myra is my friend that I met on the Disney cruise, like a Halloween Disney cruise, like 4 years ago, I think. It could be wrong. It could be 3.
Gotcha.
And I'm so excited that, she's
It's Savea.
Huh.
It's 10 o'clock.
It is?
It is.
Okay, let's go.
All right. I think it's just me time for a countdown. Are we ready?
Yes, let's go for it.
Okay. And 10,
10,
9,
8,
8, 7,
6,
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Hello, everyone. Savea, come on.
I'm working on it.
Working on it because we got our
Hi.
political. We have our hello, everyone. Welcome to the late night craft talk party convention. Right, Savea?
Yes. Hold on a second. For some reason, let me mute. Okay. Anyway. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry.
Welcome, everyone, to the late night party convention, where we bring great news here in our convention squeezed between the Democrat and Republican Party convention. We have our own party.
We are so excited to welcome you to our party convention.
Our party convention. And I would like to go ahead and announce that Savea and I accept our party's nomination for President and Vice President of the United States of America.
Wait a second.
What?
I thought that we were partying all month because it's my birthday.
Is this a coincidence? Are you thinking this is a birthday party?
Yes. but you know,
we've been on the campaign trail since the last week of April.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
We've been talking about, economy and foreign policy and all these things. This is a normal conversation for a birthday?
Yeah, well, I guess, okay, well, then I guess I'm the president. I'm going to be the president.
Oh, just because it's your birthday.
Yeah.
No, we talked about this. When I answered that Craigslist ad that you answered that I wrote, I said I'd be president. We flipped a coin on this.
Wait a second. I don't think that's a real coin.
Apparently, folks, right here in front of this huge crowd of millions of people watching tonight, Savay and I have to talk something over. Apparently, we're at an impasse and a disagreement.
Yeah. And apparently, the late night craft talk is somehow showing on our screen. The gray one. Yeah.
Well, let me take care of that right quick. Otherwise than that, folks, apparently we have a disagreement. So
yes, we do have a disagreement, James. Yep.
Wow, this is getting rough. Okay, I think.
Okay, well, it's
Late Night Craft Talk should be the two of us on here.
Yes.
Yes, that was our reference to Captain America's Civil War.
Yes, because we have a disagreement. We're like,
we're gonna duke it out tonight. We're getting a little competitive at this show tonight. And with
this is like the top.
The top. So we wanted to kind of establish this now because it's a party convention. A lot of things happen, and Savannah and I are definitely competitive.
Yes.
With that, folks, time to start the show.
Well, yeah. Well, so start the show. Okay. Well, okay. So for those of you who haven't watched our show in a long time.
Hold on. Okay, go for it.
Okay, go for it. No, go ahead. No, go. Start the show.
Wow, this is rough. It's time for Late Night Craft Talk with hosts Abea Kamori Yang and James Hermes. This week's special guest, Jilly Hopke from Jillycakes. Did you know that Late Night Craft Talk translated into Latin sounds like
Nox parce disputationis,
and in Latin,
sus vicis eutsatus spectaculum.
Translated into English means it's time to start the show. Da 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 da. Wow, this is going to be one of those evenings of a lot of little technical glitches. It gets started early. We know what's going to be coming.
Oh no, you know what? That was all.
That's it. That was the hardest moving parts, but dancing. Well, Savannah and I went ahead and discussed during the opening credits. I'll be president.
Okay, I'm going to change the subject. So, hey everyone. For those who haven't watched our show before, our show, James and I, were really good friends, and we had come up with this idea of doing the show to kind of keep people entertained and to advertise our business, and then advertise and get information out for the people so they can see and hear about inspiring artists, small business owners, and maybe get some ideas to do their own thing. And this is like our whole purpose of this. And so we're really excited you're watching with us. And the first thing that we wanted to take care of for our business is we want to announce the winner for last week's contest. And the winner is Maya.
Oh my, I know that there's somebody going, ah! Right now. Go Maya.
Maya is the winner. I'm so excited, Maya.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we're about to read about it on Facebook. All right, so we got that part out of the way. This is very presidential of us to go over there. We want to help everybody and go over there and promote businesses because we're all about America.
Yes, supporting each other and small businesses and artists and creative people. So this is it. Hey James, so what did you do this week?
Oh boy, just a lot of pre-orders on stuff, filling small orders. quick story I want to relate. That actually happened this morning. I'm doing some filming this morning on some arrows I've got to make for release. I got to, we'll release the video next month, and I get this Facebook message. Just I'm recording, the camera's going, using my phone as a remote. All of a sudden, bling! Just as I'm about to record, going, God, at least it's not the ice cream man going by, because usually that's the curse. Whenever I record, the ice cream man's going to go by. So I'm doing that, and this guy pops up. Do you have a way to teach me how to wrap a feather? Turns out he's got some turkey feathers. He's military over in active duty military station in Florida, and he's got a sergeant that he wants to master sergeant that he wants to do something for, just something awesome. We want to wrap some feathers with some turkey feathers with the leather. And I was like, as it is, I just posted a how-to video a couple days ago on my YouTube channel, and I went, yeah, send it over there. He's like, dude, thank you so much. I didn't know what to do, and he's watching it. And being able to help a guy like that, I mean, there's no sales involved. I'm not making money of it, but it's the spirit of the business, the spirit of helping and sharing. That's why I'm in business, and that's the spirit of it. I just thought that would be the coolest thing to share.
Aw, that's like the chicken soup for the crafter's soul, James.
Or or it's the unicorn of the guidem. Rambo sprinkles. Okay.
So Dancing Bear this week, we actually got in a ton of diamond dots. One of our suppliers that we had diamond dots from was very inconsistent, so we went ahead and am buying direct from Diamond Dots, and they're just the coolest things. I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever seen them, but see how my background is sparkling? So imagine a picture you make for your wall that sparkles like that, but it's in designs, so we're really excited about getting those, and we got
Savia's background, that's not green screen, that's real.
It's real, sparkling, alive purple glitter. Yes, this is true. So we're
on the internet, and you can believe everything you see on the internet.
Everything on the internet's real.
Including our presidential race.
Yeah, and then San Diego actually is off the California watch list, finally. So that means that we're going to be resuming in-person shopping very shortly. We're going to be opening up appointments for shopping very soon. So make sure to keep an eye out on our Facebook page. I also be sending an email out to our email list, but that's like big news for us.
That's huge. Unfortunately, we're not able to open up for like Elk Rock. We're not able to open in-person shopping in Riverside County. We're just getting off the state watch list. But the fact is that, most of our business is conducted underneath of an extinct volcano. Our evil headquarters. So, we gotta.
Yeah,
you can't really let people like G.I. Joe know where we're at. So.
Yeah, you really don't want to have people coming into your extinct volcano, because
it kind of defeats the purpose of secret base.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You're actually about how many stories down are you to make 50 or 60 stories down?
We have 75 stories.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
We expand a little bit. We dug down further. But one thing that's nice is we were open to Cupcake Factory.
Oh, you opened a
cupcake factory? Cupcakes ever.
Wow, that's cool.
Especially chocolate cupcakes.
Interesting. Actually, I got treated today because my husband went and got me gourmet cookies. I have a whole bunch of gourmet cookies to eat today.
Yeah, but don't you think cupcakes are better?
I don't know. I think these cookies are much. I don't know. They look better.
Do we have another disagreement tonight?
Look at this cookie. Oh, I was just handed something else. Look at this. Oh my goodness.
What?
Okay, this is like this. This was just handed to me off the press. Look at this. This is a monster brownie. Oh, it's getting attacked by purple glitter.
Yeah, but I want to talk. It's being attacked, but I think the chocolate cupcakes are the best. Do we have another disagreement here? I think we're about to have another disagreement. Uh-oh, folks.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be menacing music. We had to do bluegrass because the music we have to get has to be like,
free stuff.
Copyright free for distribution. And so there's a lot of bluegrass and abstract music that's labeled as oddly international. So, you know, that's what we have. So just avoid the elevator music from freemusicarchive.com. So that was the menacing music. Anyway, so they apparently have a disagreement to avoid an all-out, drag-out fight over Zoom. Because, you know, we can reach. I think I go this way. Can I reach you?
I would go this.
Try reaching me.
I'd be like,
yeah, we'd be going like. Anyway, so to do this, to moderate us during our show, our competitiveness, we're going to bring in a true warrior.
She is actually a very good warrior and very expert, like an expertise of wars. I think that actually she was on Cupcake Wars.
She was on We have an actual person who was on a show called Cupcake Wars.
I think she was on more than once. We'll have to ask her about it.
I think so. So everybody, let's go and introduce tonight's guest, a true warrior. I bring in this week's special guest, Jilly Hopke from Jillycakes. And here we go. And there we are. The Cupcake Warrior herself.
Yay! Hi.
Glad I caught you before you guys started like having a real war.
Yeah, you're here to moderate us so that we don't get too competitive. So Savea, so let's do the thing, Savea. Yeah. Okay. Because according to my view, you're in between us. So
yeah, I mean that bluegrass was very threatening. So
if you're in a canoe,
yeah,
in Arkansas,
or foreshadowing a buffalo, maybe.
Well, that just folks, that the buffalo will come in later in the show,
or maybe it won't. You just never know.
I don't know. I hope they have that thing tied up outside the shop. Well, you got to have some kind of roadside attraction to bring in the customers.
Yeah, well, the buffalo that I have is actually very well trained.
He's wearing a cone, in fact.
Can you do the cone cam?
Oh, the cone cam?
Bring in the cone cam. A little background. Should I go and give the background right quick?
It's going to be hard.
Okay, won't happen.
Cone cam. Okay, so our little dog Mochi was fixed, and every time this whole week that we're having meetings to talk about the show,
okay,
Mochi would seriously cone me. Like he would run up to me and be like, "Oh, with the cone."
I was still waiting for cones in space, but
that would have been very funny.
My dream of cone in space sort of coming through your background glitter.
And he's like,
I have a dress of that, I think, but it's cats. It's not dogs in space.
Or is it cats in space, or is it specifically laser cats?
No, it's not laser cats. Just regular cat faces, but on a space background.
But do they have cones around their heads?
No, I mean,
cats stare in space a lot.
That would be really funny. Oh my gosh. Okay, so tell us about yourself, Jilly. How did you get started with making cakes?
It's funny because I always feel bad when people go to school for hundreds of years to learn how to make, and I did none of that. I did go to school, but not for cake. But when I was a kid, my mom was making crazy cakes. 1984, she made Kermit the Frog, 3-dimensional, sitting on a log with light up fireflies on little sticks. And that's 1984. There was no Pinterest. There's no Google images and all of that stuff. So she was sort of a pioneer of sculpted ridiculous cakes and space shuttles with donut wheels and all kinds of stuff. So kind of that became a milestone in every birthday and celebration was that she'd make these insane cakes. And when I moved to Florida and I was working for Disney, there's you're dancing a lot, so you're hungry all the time, and there'd be all these opportunities for bringing food into work. So I started making cupcakes and cakes and things to bring into coworkers, and they were like, "These are good, you should sell them." And I was like, maybe I will. And
I bet you were really popular
Yeah, so like, and it's great because it's a free test market. You're like, oh, what do you guys think about this? Write down some notes, change that.
Yeah.
And so that was like 12 years ago. So here we are.
Wow. You know, it's like sometimes like ideas present themselves and then things just like lead you into doing that. So that is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah.
So you guys, let's look at some of Jilly's awesome cakes.
This is going to blow your everybody. This is going to blow your mind. Actually, just a little sidebar here. So Maya didn't sign in on time to watch me in the show, and there's actually a discussion right here where I believe it was Karen Lee told her that she won this week's contest, and they're having this discussion right now on the post. It's actually pretty entertaining. Sorry to entertain that, but no, also, folks, get ready to have your mind blown on cakes. This is cool.
Yeah, and actually, so I have a question. So Jilly, you were in Cake Wars.
Cupcake
Wars. How many times were you on the show?
We did 3 episodes of that show. So we did season 8 and then the Ultimate Showdown. So it's sort of once you know how the process goes and they need people, they sort of tend to go back to the same people because they're like, we don't have to like explain it all to them.
Yeah.
They're sort of like, we can just, I think that towards the end, because I know now they've since finished filming Cupcakes, and then they had moved on to Cakes, and then now it's sort of morphed into the like Halloween Wars and whatever, all in that same kitchen set, but just various holidays.
Okay.
Carving and things that are much farther out of my skill set, but yeah, so it's funny because I think everybody, obviously there's things that are produced about it because it's a television show, but the thing that I expected going into it was like, oh, if anything is stretched a little bit, it's going to be the time constraints. And surprise on me, that was like the thing that was the most true to how you see it in television. Yeah, I was like, oh crap, that sucks.
Out of curiosity, when you were on Cupcake Wars, were you like patting in front of the United States flag, walking around talking how you defeat the enemy?
No, it's not that kind of war.
Are you like a scorched earth cupcake war? Or
no, it's
prisoners?
funny because, and I'm a very like unconfrontational person generally. So, and it's clear that when they cast the teams for the episodes that there's like the sassy team and the wholesome friend team and the whatever. And then so like the first episode for the America's Cup, I felt like we sort of filled that hole of like, we're the Disney entertainment gals, you know. and then towards the later stuff, the producers would start to like ask us to be sassy like behind the scenes, and I was like, I'm not comfortable with that. That's like not my brand image. So it's just interesting how you have to sort of do enough to be like, we're being a war, but also like I can't trash talk team that is behind 18 cameras and I can't see what they're doing.
Yeah. So Mr. President or Mr. Vice President, do you have any questions that we should ask before we start our slideshow?
I do not field candidate, but
I like how you keep
it's war.
You keep demoting one another with your titles.
Well, actually, what I did is I sent Survey a message on the messenger saying, call me Vice President right quick, so poke a little fun right quick.
Yeah, I know,
Because
right?
apparently we don't. If there's a bunch of cameras in front of us, we don't hold back.
That's why he likes the show, working with me on the show, because like we could totally like punch fists at each other and it's fun.
We smile.
It's like
I'll just be over here. I'll be over here like eating my popcorn. And being like,
a little later, you'll be able to watch your popcorn and call out the time when we have a little competition here coming up. I don't have any questions before the slideshow.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Slideshow.
I just want to make sure we can start it. Is that okay, Mr. Vice President?
Yes, Undersecretary
of
Undereducation.
Secretary
of
okay.
Undereducation.
I'll be like the assistant. Can
I
get you guys some coffee? Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, everyone. So this is Jilly's really cute logo. That was kind of a fun story you had about this logo you told us.
Yeah. So, I, what, 10, 11, however many years ago, a friend of mine was just sort of like just getting into graphic design. And I was like, hey, I need a logo. And you have like an eye for cool stuff. And I kind of like know what I want, but I have no literal graphic arts skill. And so I paid him $70 and he made this logo, which of course has become very notable, on t-shirts, on the sign, on the advertisements and stuff. And now that artist that made this logo for $70 10 years ago is now like an editor-in-chief for Bustle in New York.
Wow.
So it's like, I always tell him, like, I could not afford your services now, but
That's
thanks
awesome.
for giving me that deal on the Jillycakes logo.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is really a funny logo about the Cupcake Wars with it as a tank.
Yeah, when they like do the title for the show, it actually like blows out icing, I think, or something.
Oh, really?
Like a little cupcake. There's like a little animated version of the tank.
So when you were on the show, like were everyone was how much prep did they give you? Because it's like, I don't know if you can tell us. So like I know that they kind of spring things on you, like the one episode that I saw where they just gave you like seafood. You have to make a seafood.
Yeah, that was pretty horrible because I don't generally eat seafood. So, but I was like, we can't do the like sea salt because then we're going to be the first people to be going home. So, I mean, it's not obviously, I mean, in the process of us doing this live broadcast, we've had like 4 times that we talked about stuff. And we get the total filming for the episode takes from about 4 in the morning or so from when they start like putting on mics and checking camera angles and all of that until about midnight if you go through all the rounds. So it's like a 18 hour day. It's sort of ridiculous. So it's not like run over to the table and then immediately run over to the station and start doing things. I would say, we have to do the running over to the table bit like 18 times in a row so they can get it from all the cameras. So you have like an hour, a couple hours that you can start to like build a plan in your mind because it's not that like immediate, okay, now like run over to mixer. First of all, logistically, there's cameras in the way, so you couldn't do that.
It's like, how would you know to bring curry with you?
Well, we don't. All of that stuff. So like behind that kitchen set that you see, there's like an entire warehouse, like a giant, like double Walmart size that just has like a prep kitchen area. So they stock like anything normal. And you kind of get a parts list ahead that you're like, these are the things that you can choose from. Don't go off this list because we don't have it. Or somebody, it's actually funny. In the middle of like the second round in our second episode, we ran out of powdered sugar and like the entire set building ran out of powdered sugar.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
So they had to like pause everything and we had to go down to Kroger and like buy more powdered sugar, but we're buying like, you can't get like a 50-pound bag at Kroger, so we're buying like 8 2-pound bags. And they're like, we went to check out and they're like, are you guys filming a drug movie? Because we've got the like Sony badges and it just says like the food show or something cryptic. And I was like, only in LA they would see a bunch of powdered shirts and you're filming drugs.
Well, it's like you just never know.
Yeah. So it's not immediate. You get a little bit of planning. The thing that we did that I was sort of like, this is a necessity in pre-planning. Like when they tell you that you're going to be on the show, the casting process was about 2 years. Like that sounds insane. But when they first contacted us for just any general interest and to like apply. And the video that you found on YouTube, which I'm sure will be referenced in greater depth later.
Yes.
Our audition tape.
Pilgrim.
That was all for when they had originally contacted us. That was for shooting for season 2. So they called and they said, hey, we're interested in talking to you about this show, and can you submit some professional photos and a resume or whatever, and then we'll let you know. So we submit all that, and then it was like months and months goes by, we heard nothing. So I was like, oh well, that was cool that they like considered us, but you know, whatever, it's a lot of people. And then like 6 months later they were like, hey, it's us again, we need you to film a audition video. So that's the YouTube video that you saw, which hasn't aged very well aside from my cupcake jammies. And then again, like you hear nothing. It's just like radio silence, and so you're like, oh, okay, well that was cool, but whatever. And then like another 6-8 months goes by, and they're like, hey, it's us, and we need you to come in 2 weeks. And you're like, great, thanks for the notice. So but I like once we got that like 2-week notice of like actually like we're gonna fly you to California, I was very specific that we needed to have like a vanilla and a chocolate recipe that could just become anything. So that we were prepared to be like, oh, if they say it's whatever, then we can just take these recipes that we've already developed and then add fruit or add fish or add whatever, and make it so that we're not like having to go, oh, how baking soda do I put in this or something. And we still use those same 2 recipes now, 12 years later, for every single cake and cupcake that gets made. So
Wow, that's really cool. That's a fun story, because I think that I've done a little bit of TV, and it's like when you you know, setting up and putting the mics on and all that, and having to be there really early, and you're waiting to go on and all that stuff. It's quite a process, and it is true, you can't really run everywhere because there's cords everywhere for the camera.
Well, yeah, and just in that, I mean, I'm sure that pretty much everybody has seen the kitchen set, you know, even if they haven't watched show, though, that it's like the 4 stations with the judges up on the front end. And so any time that we're filming the physical timed portions, that those alleys, like the little in between all of those kitchens and in between us and the judges, is full of walk around cameras, boom cameras, cords, PA staff. Like literally it's physically impossible. Like if anybody, I would say, if anybody's talking about like, oh yeah, over in kitchen, blah blah blah, they're lying, because they can't see any of what's going on over there. Like it's a physical impossibility to see into the other kitchens. So just the setup of that and the breakdown of that takes about an hour and a half in between all the rounds, and then they have to clean stuff, and you know, because when you go walk up to the judges, it's not like a bunch of powdered sugar all over the floor behind you.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine? It'd be like kind of dangerous.
Sometimes it's the audience, the mind eye. Yeah, I mean, live TV with the handful of times I've had to do it, even just own productions where I'll broadcast stuff for a kids event over internet, like a YouTube or Facebook Live, just the camera just put in. It's a combination of, yeah, it's real and not so much.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think like, obviously, again, like the physical time, it's like the magic of television. It's not like going immediately from running from the ingredients table over to running to the mixer, and stuff shot a little bit out of order. Like we do all of the drawings of the displays and all of that stuff right early in the morning. Like think about it, the carpenters have to have all day. They can't like start at 5 o'clock at night on whatever that is, because when we start shooting the 3rd round, it's about, so we start at like 4 a.m. and if you go to the 3rd round, that's like sometime around 5 or 6 in the evening. So they've had like all day to make the displays. But yeah, so it's like, so some of that's out of order, but it's still a mad dash and very stressful.
Yeah, it's the miracle of television. I mean, we started off this show with our party convention, and now we're here. We have a whole lot of people in the stadium waiting for us to come back and make an announcement at the end of the show here.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay.
It's like, and the crowd goes wild.
So,
I hear them cheering in the background over here.
okay, so we're gonna talk about your first cake.
Yes, yes, yes.
He's so cute. Oh, look at those little ears.
Okay, so this is a Disney character. A lot of people don't know about this one.
Yeah, he's from a very far away place where you and I met.
I know. So I was kind of waiting to tell a story. So my plan was we had to be at Disneyland in Japan on Halloween last year, and we made it. And I was like, okay, we're going to go dapper. So Dan and I are wearing, like, this is the dress I was wearing. It's like a Haunted Mansion dress. And Dan and I were dressed up and, like, dapper. And we show up and we're in front of the Haunted Mansion. And I see this girl and she's wearing the same dress. And I was like, hey, I like your dress. And we were just chatting and we have so much to talk about. And Dan's like, hey, do you know her? I'm like, no, we're just like, we just got along. And it was just so cool that we met at Disneyland in Japan on Halloween.
You're not telling part of that story there, Savea.
What story part?
You told me meet me at Disneyland, and I'm waiting over in Anaheim and waiting and waiting.
Wrong Disneyland.
And waiting.
I knew which one she meant clearly because I was there.
Yes.
But yeah, so this little guy, he's an animatronic tiger from the Voyage of Sinbad, which is like a boat ride over in Tokyo Disney Sea. So cute. Like, if It's a Small World was far less annoying.
Yeah. This is such a cool ride. I went on it a few times. And I love there's this part where you get misted with rain. Yeah. It's so cool.
And watch the translated version.
Oh, and then the translated version is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is just, I had to share this one because I thought this is really cute. This cake. Oh my gosh. This is so much fun.
I gotta tell you, anytime I have to make things that are other foods that are not cake but look like food, that's like my most favorite thing. So making this crunch wrap is like, I told you earlier, I was like, this is my Mona Lisa. This is my Sistine Chapel.
This is
that crunch wrap. But but seriously, so when I was like a little kid, I used to sculpt with Play-Doh all the time. So and I think if you're scrolling through the Instagram later, there is that photo of me at like 7 years old. I'm wearing like a SeaWorld t-shirt. We'd gone to Florida in 1987, and I'm like standing in a field with a plate of still life fruit that I had made out of Play-Doh. And so those are skills that I have still continued to use now and well into my adult life. So.
It was a very cute picture.
Yeah.
Now, are you using legit tortilla chips on this?
Thankfully.
Yeah. A couple questions that people feel dumb to ask. I want to do it for them. Okay. Real tortilla chips, or what are those?
No, those are all handmade fondant tortilla chips and the little cinnamon twists. All of that is made from cake things. So none of that.
Oh, yeah, because we have a comment right now from Maya saying, ooh, tacos, I love tacos. Tacos are life. Another person says, best cake ever.
So, for those who don't know, can you explain to us what fondant is?
Fondant is sugar Play-Doh. So that's pretty much the easiest way to explain it. I mean, chemically, it's like glycerin and corn syrup and powdered sugar and stuff. But mostly
like Fred
is
bread.
Just sugar Play-Doh.
Okay. Well, see, James, okay, so was a really funny story about fondant. I wanted a fondant cake for our wedding, so I got a fondant cake. And Dan didn't know what fondant was. And so when we were eating our cake, he's like, Savannah, you got a mochi cake? A mochi cake.
It is a bit mochi, I guess. Like, it's not quite as mochi. I feel is more is less sweet. This is much more sugary, but we still put a normal amount of icing underneath because most of the times it's decorative. People don't generally love eating it unless they're 5 and they like to ball it up and like eat it like a jawbreaker or something.
Yeah. Kind of like it
Kids
is
are
kind of
weird.
It
play.
sounds like something non-dangerous that guys can throw at each other and eat and stuff like that.
Yeah, but in the
Or
Taco
guiding.
Bell cake, so I tried to make it like not just giant blobs of fondant, and in the 2 tacos and in the crunch wrap, those are actually Rice Krispie treats on the inside, and just like decoratively fondant on the
How'd you do the
outside.
Taco Bell logo?
I printed it on an edible printer, which is one of my better investments.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're not
That's
about
why I did the little packets too.
we
I
had to
like
ask because we're not about corporate sponsorship here.
Not at all.
Not at all. I'm
It's
drinking
the choice.
nothing about Pepsi or anything.
Yeah, was that it's our choice, and it's the choice of a new generation.
We don't believe in branding at all either.
It's like
No.
people only do things because they get paid. And that's just
We don't
sad.
seek any sponsorship out of our own business.
It's just really sad.
No, I don't see any sponsorship out
Nothing.
either. But like the official Taco Bell account did like comment on it, so I was pretty psyched about that. I was like, cool, I'm not getting sued, and you guys think it's awesome.
Nice, nice. Okay, that's always good. No sue. Yes, good.
Oh,
Good.
cute.
Love R2D2.
He makes me want to like go get in my X-wing and fly off to Dagobah. Look how cute he is.
Really cute. This is so much fun. Like when I saw her cakes after meeting her, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. I love it.
I particularly enjoy stuff like this. So if you see like how he's got the illusion bottom, like where it looks like he's standing up, and that's foam covered in black and then like airbrushed to blend into the black shiny color of the board that he's on. So he's not actually like standing up on his legs because his legs are just made of Rice Krispie treats, and that would be ridiculous. But he gives the illusion that he is. So that was
A lot of
cool.
people are going to think he's an old robot because snap, crackle, pop.
Yeah. Good one, James.
That's a good joke, James. I'm appreciating your joke
How tall is
today.
it?
How tall is this one? How tall was it?
He was built off of an 8-inch round cake, and an 8-inch half ball. So full standing, he was probably about 18 inches tall.
Wow, that's crazy. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. Okay, next one.
Yay! There's your little baby.
I
Your
have
baby.
Baby Yoda in.
Little nuggy flavor cake. No, I'm just kidding. That was carrot.
You know what? It does look like a chicken nugget, actually.
A little bit, yeah. I did appreciate that they were like darker, earthy looking color instead of being like, let's put Baby Yoda on hot pink. Though, I mean, I'd be more like your cone dog in space.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah, you know,
There's no pickles.
perfect sense that Baby Yoda would be on like an earthy color. I agree.
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't been asked to make more Baby Yoda stuff. So there's been a few like cupcake orders and a few that are like his face, and then that one I think you probably saw was like his big giant head and his little body. And I should have put a nuggie in his hand. He was a graduation cake, so he got a big like graduation hat. But I was like, I have to take a picture before he's tainted by having allegiance to a specific school or team.
Nice. But yeah, so she makes cakes and cupcakes.
Yeah.
Look at me.
I'm so glad that like Orange Bird and Figment and things have been making a resurgence in modern times, because that's like my childhood Disney stuff is these guys.
So you want to tell, a lot of our audience is in California. So can you tell us about Orange Bird?
Well, obviously, orange growing is like the main agriculture of Florida. And so back, the first few times that I went to Disney at the Magic Kingdom, obviously they've had a partnership with Dole for many years with the Dole Whip and all of that, but they had an advertising character similar to how you would have like Toucan Sam or Tony the Tiger for like cereal companies. They had a very similar advertising campaign with Orange Bird for the Sunshine Tree Terrace in Adventureland. And so they sold like fresh squeezed juice. And in 1983, and somewhere in my parents' house, they actually like the souvenir cup of you could get like fresh squeezed juice inside of his head. So it was like a little Orange Bird head cup.
Nice.
So we have one of those somewhere.
That's primarily just like a local Florida thing with Orange Man.
Yeah, and they for a very short time they did have like a costume character of Orange Bird, and he was real cute. But yeah.
James Orange isn't really represented in Disneyland very much.
No, he's more of a Florida.
Yeah, kind of like the singing California Raisins a while back was the California thing.
I was a California raisin for Halloween when I was a kid. So in addition to making crazy cakes, my mom made crazy Halloween costumes. And and I was like, I really want to be a California raisin. And so I think she bought like 24 yards of crushed purple velvet. And basically, wow. I mean, I was like 5 or 6 at the time, so I was very small, but she made like a body pillow that slipped over the top of me with like a face hole and like armholes and then gloves. So it's like, but it was great because I grew up in New England, so Halloween is usually very chilly. And I was not cold going around trick-or-treating in my 70,000 pounds of crushed velvet.
All I can say is with the heat wave we're having in California this week, it carried over all the way even back then, keeping you warm. sunny California.
So yeah, I was a big fan of California raisins. So I buy into any of these sappy, cute character advertising gimmicks.
Yeah.
We're not into gimmicks. Not on this show.
Not at all.
Nope.
There we go. This one is cool because I felt like they sort of just gave me free reign to like they were like, we want an indie cake, it's our anniversary, and I kind of got to like do my own thing with it, which was really cool. And all of the passport stamps are places that they have been to like through their years of being married. So there's a lot of little like Easter eggs that were specific to them on this cake, which was really cool.
That is really cool. It's nice when you can do something where you really make it personal and it's still like it's such a cool themed cake, but it has so much of what the people you're making it for has in it.
Yeah, right? Exactly. You're like, oh, like anybody who's a fan of Indiana Jones or knows Indiana Jones would be like, oh, that's so cool. But then like to them, there's like a lot of like little meaningful stuff. So that was neat.
So a question for you, how do you cut a vertical cake like that?
Sort of the way you would cut a regular cake. So this one, you'd obviously have to take off the hat and the whip. So the hat was Rice Krispies and the whip was just fondant that I textured and wrapped up there on the side. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it's just a regular cake in the suitcase. Mm-hmm. Portion of that. So like if you cut into it from the side, it would have like 4 layers up that are skinny instead of like.
I would totally wear that hat.
You would need to lay it down.
I would totally wear that hat.
Yeah.
I would wear that hat too, James. It's a nice hat. My dad actually has worn an Indiana Jones style hat as long as I've ever known him. So
well, as long as it's made of Rice Krispie treats, heck yeah.
Yeah, his is a regular hat, but
Rice Krispies hat, I'll wear it and eat it, obviously. Okay.
Nudes.
I thought
probably this was probably the most expensive pack of ramen ever. No,
you know, right? I mean, how much they're like 12 cents or 7?
Yeah, exactly. Usually they're like 15 cents.
I know, but this was so cool. Like, I just thought that this was really fun.
Yeah. Again, going back sort of to the Taco Bell stuff, it's like anytime I can make other foods out of cake, that's a happy day.
So what was the flavor in this one?
I think this was probably just like vanilla or something plain. Usually most of the time the flavor does not coordinate to the outside look, much to my dismay.
So
But
not a chicken ramen flavored cake.
yeah, I mean, no, but I mean, at least something that's like, I don't know, orange to go with the color of the package or something. Green bean flavor, I don't know.
That would be a really interesting flavor, ramen cake.
If it can be done, I bet you can figure it out.
Right?
Make it with ramen. To make it with ramen, not looking like.
You could do like a little cake out of the ramen. I've seen like burger buns out of ramen, so why couldn't you do that with like a little?
I'd imagine with ramen you can remold it just like you do tofu to make a tofu.
Yeah.
burger.
Exactly.
That's a cool cake.
I thought this was a really interesting cake because it's just different. It looks different. So tell us about it.
Yeah, this was a gender reveal cake, which is a very popular type of cake these days, especially where people, in recent times can't get together to like celebrate birthdays and big celebrations like that. So a lot of cakes are becoming for smaller celebrations or for unorthodox things like milestones and gender reveals and babies and that sort of stuff. So, and most of the time the couple doesn't even know the gender themselves. They'll have the doctor call me or a friend or family member call. So I'm a keeper of many secrets about babies.
Know more about their kids than they do at the time.
That's
How
the
weird is that?
You're the secret holder.
I'm the secret keeper, yes.
How weird was that the first time that you got the call from the doctor and you know the child's gender before the parents did? How weird was that the first time, second time, third time?
I mean, you have to, in my world, I've had a lot of non-disclosure agreements. So,
Yeah, but this is, I mean,
television and working for Disney and, lots of different avenues. So that was sort of just like another type of non-disclosure.
So this is another thing. Jilly and I, we both worked for Disney. Anyway, so tell
Wear
us.
the same dress.
And then we have like really like cool colored hair. I don't know if you can really tell. My hair actually is purple, but
Your sparkle background is detracting from your purple hair, but yes.
this actually looks really cool right here. That looks really purple. Anyway, so tell us about the location. She has an actual retail store, guys.
Yeah, so and in a lot of the reruns for Cupcake Wars, you were mentioning that it was like, oh, we hope to someday have that. Well, that episode was from like 2012. So in 2014, we opened a retail store in Winter Park, which is like north of downtown Orlando. And I live over by the Animal Kingdom. So for me, it was like an hour and 15-minute commute every single day. And so when our lease was up there, we were like, that's not really like, we need to do something because that's a long commute and like it's not where the bulk of our business is. Most of our stuff is tourists, people visiting town, Disney area people. So we literally 2 days before we flew to China, we moved our entire bakery across town from Winter Park to International Drive, which if you know anything about Orlando, that's like the direct middle of the tourism area. So right now, not so much, but it's still the like central area of the Orlando.
So is this the actual like shop food court area where you are your store?
Yeah. So if anybody's seen, and you can see it from everywhere, there's like a 400-foot tall Ferris wheel, formerly known as the Orlando Eye, and we're inside the building at its feet. So like in the back of our building, the feet of the Ferris wheel literally come through the roof and like into the break room, like it's attached to the wheel. So inside there with the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum and the aquarium, there's like a little tiny food court of just 4 spots in between, and we're in there. So a lot of times people are like, where do we go? And I'm like, giant Ferris wheel to the feet.
This is kind of a nice picture then too, because you actually kind of see
you can sort of see
what it looks
where
like
that is.
looking out at your customers.
Yeah.
Cool. But anyway, I just love this cake. I just think that just how you textured the bottom, it's very interesting. And it's a very like interesting set. So what was the gender reveal for this one? Do you remember?
They did have a girl. So and this is the thing with gender reveal cakes is I'm always like, oh God, like what if I give it away by like doing the percentage of outside decoration too much one way or the other? These are the only things that I think about. I'm sure that they don't ever consider that. But I was like, is the fact that I made the top of the bottom cake giving away that it was a girl?
Yeah.
Only the inside.
Yeah, but it's just it's a very cute cake. This one's fun.
And pretzels again. Anytime I can make not food. That's my favorite. So one of our business partners in the new location is like sausages, food truck, beer stuff, pretzels, giant, big as your head. So when we moved in there, we sort of like celebrated that business partnership with cake that visually represented that.
That's really
like,
fun.
Here, have a beer cake with a bunch of pretzels that are not nearly as giant as the ones that you sell, but you get the idea.
Yeah, it's just fun. This one's cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know us. We love villains. We love Halloween, clearly. We were both so insistent on being halfway across the universe on Halloween in our Halloween dresses.
Yes. This is very cute.
But yeah, obviously being in the Disney area, I make a lot of Disney-inspired cakes. And that sort of goes in and out, again, with season. Like, we're getting into Halloween season again, so I've started to get a lot of requests for, like, Nightmare Before Christmas stuff and villain stuff, and so that's cool. It's a good time of year.
Yeah, I love it.
The best time of year with this little guy. Oh, I love him so much.
Cute.
That is neat.
He's just so expressive. And I think that's anytime I can feel like the cake is looking back at me and like, this one's clearly giving judgment or disdain. But it was still so cute.
Yeah, I thought it was I just thought it was a really fun cake, and it stood out at me. It's just being like just really different, and it really is the eyes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna try here. I'm gonna try to look.
I don't know, James. Because you know quite the amount of disdain that the Grinch cake has.
Let's see. Give my head down because let's try it. Let's try here. I'm gonna try it. Working on it.
I'm practicing this look for later in this segment.
When we get to the contest.
Yeah.
okay.
Oh yeah, that one's cool.
This is cool. It's very different.
I liked so obviously you were talking about like earlier when we had our pre-discussion and you said like, oh, did you notice me liking all your photos in weird random orders? And I always think it's interesting to see what other people find to be interesting. So, you know, I could have 6 people go through the Instagram photos and I'm sure that all 6 of you would have a completely different list of pictures that appealed to you or were like, oh my God, that's cool, or oh, that's cool. And we were talking earlier about like likes and shares and all of that, and how I always say that the work that goes into something is generally opposite from the attention that it gets on social media. So but this one did pretty well.
True.
And this is actually very different than most of the ones you're doing, because you're doing like Care Bears,
mostly like cutesy stuff, like
cutesy cartoon, you know,
little cartoon dinosaurs with cone hat party cones on. So this was a very big departure of style for me, but that was sort of a neat challenge too, of like, well, I know how to airbrush stuff and I know how to hand paint stuff and I know mostly how to make a Tyrannosaur, so how can you put all those things together to make like a more realistic looking dino? And
I'm glad they ordered this and not Barney the dinosaur.
What about like if Barney had these scary teeth though? That would be pretty.
Well, Marcus, look at Barney's show. Every week he had different kids on his show every week. He's a dinosaur.
Where did the kids go, James?
Bingo. He's a dinosaur.
Barney was
Child
very
endangerment.
creepy. He creeped me out. Like when I would watch, I just would kind of watch that show and I'd be like, I don't know why kids like this show. He's a freaking, not
He's
swearing.
a theropod dinosaur, two-legged, meat eater, and different kids every week.
I was more a fan of like Wishbone, the time traveling dog, but
you know, I liked Blue's Clues. I wasn't a kid watching Blue's Clues. I was an adult.
Well, I mean, I'm 40 years old and I watch Daniel Tiger and I have no children, and people are always like, "What is that tune that you're singing?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's the Daniel Tiger Go to the Potty song."
There you go.
Nice. So this one was just, I wanted to show this because it's just such a departure of like, you do make wedding cakes too. And
lots of wedding cakes, yes.
This was a really pretty one. And it's just something where it's simple and it's just really pretty.
Yeah, and like cool flowers and stuff. Sometimes it's fun to do that sort of thing instead of the 75 Olafs in a row. You know, that was the time, like when after the first Frozen movie came out, I was like, I have made so many, like, and it's like unicorns. Like, if there's 20 on the Instagram, I've made 200 of them that all look mostly the same, so I'm not going to post more. Yeah. But I was like, with the Olafs, I was like, I could be blind, folded, drunk, one arm tied behind my back, and like he would still mostly look like Olaf. That's like how many. I was like making them in my sleep, like, oh no, does he have a grass skirt? Is he laying down? Like,
yes.
So yeah, so doing marbled or more modern styles and stuff is always a welcome departure.
Well, I mean, with the cakes, I maybe I'm in the minority opinion here in the group here, but you know, doing the other cakes shows it's a lot of cleverness, creativity also, but then there's the standalone art, and this is it.
Yeah. And I like to be able to do both those things. You know, if you do one style of art all the time, it would get pretty monotonous.
Yeah.
I agree.
And I'm like, I've been a crafter like my whole life. You know, we talked about the Play-Doh fruits when I was a child, and I make paintings like only for me and for like friends' gifts and stuff. Painting, sculpting, crafting. I customize my little ponies. Like, so that sort of like necessity to craft has just always been a part of me.
That's really cool. I mean, honestly, like you have really cool stuff. So I just like, I just was really excited you got to be on our show because it's like, you're an example of someone who's taken something they really like to do and you've made a way with it, you know, like you've made your way and you're doing what you want to do and you do what you love. And this is really cool because there's a lot of people that aren't doing it or they're trying to get there. And so that's why we're finding all these really great people to come on and give people inspiration. And you're definitely going to be inspiring a lot of people.
Yeah.
Well, and I think in like this sort of a time when everybody's kind of got extra time on their hands, and this is when all of those crafts are emerging, like people's passions that they're stuck at their house, like, oh, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to start painting, or I'm going to like go out in the backyard and catch bugs and learn about them.
Yeah.
But like a friend of mine, he's been doing some like dabbling with graphic arts and things sort of on the side for years, and now he's like furloughed from his job, and he went to Michael's and bought like a $20 glass etching pen and is making like incredible glass etchings that like after like 2 or 3 people were like, when can we buy these are amazing. And I was like, this is where, you know, that sort of, it's the revolution of the crafters coming out now.
Yeah, it's really interesting that it's really coming forward a lot. I mean, I went to the local fabric store and I was just shocked at how empty their shelves were. And our shelves are really empty too. So it's not just like, you know, so it's interesting to see that because I hadn't been at that fabric store for, man, at least like 2 months. And I just couldn't believe, like, and it's like I shouldn't have been shocked, but
Well, and it's everywhere. It's not just the craft stores. It's also like the home improvement stores. People have time to do things around their house. You'll love this is that because we talked about your secret TARDIS project. Husband and I are currently remodeling the inside of our closet to look like a TARDIS interior.
So, guys, seriously,
I'll have to send you pictures when it's done.
It's gonna have my dream closet.
They're like, what are all these flashing lights? Yeah.
A TARDIS closet. I mean, that is the most wonderful idea ever.
Well, and the best, like, so my husband had to like learn how to make. He's never crafted with wood before, other than like workbenches and like.
Little frozen time. Looks like we got a little wait here. While we're waiting for Jillian to come back, because apparently there's just a little disruption in the network. Oh,
am I back?
Are you back?
Yeah,
all right,
back.
there you back.
But anyway, so he made a bunch of hexagon like cubbies and a big shelf across the top, and like I can put all my bags and shoes, and it's bigger on the inside.
I love it. That would be my dream closet. Like, yeah. And like for me, I'm crazy about those Harvey purses. So like I want to have my lighted display where I could look at them. I could like open the door and be like, oh, it's so beautiful. Anyway, sorry, digression.
I don't hear too many guys talk about TARDIS into the garage. Okay. Shop stuff. Are we ready for hold on. Got to take care of a little something, computer glitch. Okay. Are we ready for a little contest?
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I need to get some stuff taken care of a little bit because
I do too. I'll go and do the introduction because I got to run over and go to the other room with the camera going. I will go ahead and give the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for.
Oh, wait. You got to say. So, okay, because Jilly is a really awesome cake maker, James and I have a competition all the time towards each other. And since my birthday is tomorrow, we might as well have a birthday cake decorating contest.
It's a cake off.
A cake decorating contest. So everybody get ready for. Thank you, freemusicarchive.com.
I can't tell what's more menacing is you in that picture or the jar behind the cupcake, like peeking out.
Everything was meant to kind of build on top of each other right there with the first one, the wart, we bring in the cupcakes, and then we bring in the cakes. So Savannah's doing that. I am going to shut down my camera here, go to the kitchen where I will lay out the cake. So give me a short time here.
Yeah, so I'm going to get set up really quick.
Me too. Well, while you go do this, Jillian, we're going to leave you alone for about 30 seconds. The house is yours. This is the first.
Tell us a story of your favorite. Tell us a story about your favorite experience with meeting the designer from her universe.
Well, actually, it's funny because we had been sort of distanced friends for several years prior to actually meeting in real life. In 2009, a friend of mine was working entertainment for Star Wars weekends, and he had ordered some cupcakes as like a cast gift for everybody at the studios that year. And that was the first year that she was hosting, or maybe the second, but Ahsoka was pretty new at that point. And so I had made little orange creamsicle Ahsoka cupcakes and like other Jabba the Hutts and R2D2s and a bunch of stuff, stormtroopers and things. And and this was back when it was like Flickr was the main image sharing.
Flickr, oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so she had shared a bunch of them on her Flickr, and people were showing me like, oh my God, like you have to connect. And so we sort of like had like an online back and forth conversation about those cupcakes and about stuff for years. And then in 2015, when I don't remember when Celebration was in Anaheim, in for Celebration 7. And so my husband was working for Lego at the time. And so we were out there at Celebration, and it just so happened we like go in at like 7 in the morning, and the Lego booth was literally facing the Her Universe booth. So and Ashley was like standing there out front of her booth talking to, you know, her people that were working the booth that day. And Steve, my husband, he walks over and he goes, I don't think you guys have met. This is the Jill of the cakes, and this is the Ashley of the Her Universe stuff. And she was like, oh my God, Jillycakes. And I was like, oh my God, Her Universe. And so that was the first time that we had met in person after many years of I have lots of clothes and she had lots of cake at that point. So
Cool.
Gotcha. Well, so
So maybe I should turn off my virtual background. Because you can't see what I'm doing. It's like just,
yeah, you're turning into glitter.
I know, right?
Your fondant blob just turned to glitter back there. It's too close in color to the glitter. The glitter sucked it up.
Purple hair, she'll just look like a floating face. Fancy dress.
Can you put the camera up? I have my cameraman.
Oh, it looks like cotton candy.
I know, isn't it cute? I love these colors. Okay, so we have like 2 minutes. Okay, we have 2 minutes. We have 2 minutes to do this, right, James? Is that our
Where's the base camera go?
the cord, if it gets wiggled too much, the camera turns off. So we have a couple minutes, so we're gonna work on decorating our cake, okay?
So
should I give you like a on your mark get set cake or something?
Let's introduce what cakes we're decorating very quickly.
Okay.
So you want to show yours?
Yes, tell me about your plan. What inspired you, James, to make your cake?
So what inspired me was to defeat Savea. But because it's her birthday, we're gonna make it a tie. But right now I'm working up a Jello cake. I wanted to do a round cake double layer, but couldn't find the pans where the darn it this morning. So went with this basic one, and I'm going to be decorating with strawberries, blueberries. The reason I chose blueberries because you were eating some earlier today.
I feel like Penn and Teller on that show. I think I know where you're going with this, but
you may know, because I don't know
the secret behind this magic.
So, honest impression, and I'm going to top it off with a chocolate cupcake.
All right.
Okay. So my idea for my inspiration is I like fondant. Fondant makes really cool cake covers, and I really love purple, and I really love turquoise, and I really love pink. So I'm gonna make a marbled fondant cover for my cake. Okay. So my cake is ready to be fondanted. So we're gonna go. Okay. So how much time?
You have 2 minutes.
Okay, James.
On the clock. James, are you ready?
I am ready because I was
And ready, set, cake.
Okay, all right.
Decorating.
I feel like I should throw in some like bearded carpenters behind you or something.
I'm wondering if I should have set something up for some like quick music, like we could use background music from like Benny Hill or something.
So I know you guys have the rivalry of the chocolate and the strawberry cupcakes, but is that your actual favorite flavors of cake, or are you?
My cake flavor that I made is chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla.
Oh, it's Neapolitan, like the old type of ice cream float.
Yes, Neapolitan.
That always reminds me of the like vintage Candyland board, and I say vintage, and I mean the one I had as a child that had like the little ice cream floating on the right upper corner, instead before Queen Frostine and all that fancy stuff. It was just like a little Neapolitan ice cream block.
I know. I know. Isn't it crazy how they reimagine these things? Like Have you seen the new, like, for example, have you seen the new strawberry shortcake? She's
Yep.
weird looking. She's not cute like she used to be.
I feel now, Savea, I feel like people don't appreciate visually. You can't tell how hard you're trying to work to roll that out. Like I'm saying I know how hard it is because I do it 40 times a day. But you have to have a lot of muscles to roll out fondant. Like it's a tough chore.
It's not like Play-Doh though.
Yeah. But like, and then to like pick it up and move it around, it's just it weighs a lot. I mean, the small size tub is 5 pounds. So
I think my tub.
Yeah, we had a 5 pound tub.
5 pounds.
Yeah. I know that tub well.
So how much time?
But yeah, I have like way more muscles than people anticipate that I have in my upper body.
Can you wrestle a buffalo?
Yeah. And let's check in with James. James, how's the berrying going over here on your cake?
I'm working right along. I didn't know what I was going to quite do, but it's evolving, and I think I know what I have.
All right, you guys have about 1 minute left to finish your cakes.
You have time.
You have 1 minute to make a fondant that's big enough to cover a 3-layer 9-inch cake.
I might have added a little bit of time just because I saw Savea's progress on the size of her fondant. I knew it needed to get a little bigger. We don't have a magic of television like Martha Stewart, so we've given her a handicap on the clock for her birthday.
Oh my gosh, you know what you could do?
I see that the contest has already decided. This is so impartial.
You could totally do an exercise video for cake making.
You could. You do nothing from the waist down though. It's like all upper body strength. But yeah, I can carry around 50-pound bags like it's nobody's business, but I definitely don't look like I can.
Clay making tool on this. You'll save your arms.
Yep.
You know, like one of those big rolling slab machines.
Yeah, the other thing I use also, pro tip, a silicone roller that's similar to the one you've got there, but not, I think yours is wood.
Yeah.
I don't know, tell. Yeah, that will it'll glide easier. So if you make a habit of these fondant cakes, invest in a silicone roller.
Oh, yes, I know. It will definitely make it better. Okay.
All right, we got 30 seconds.
Okay.
30 seconds to get these cakes done. We've got some sticking issues here on the mat.
I know.
Some cornstarch could have helped us a little bit. It's okay. I'm sure.
I'm ready to go.
Okay, how are we doing? We're 30 seconds?
10 seconds.
Okay.
10.
Can you lift the camera so you can see?
9. 8. It's a very slow 10 seconds. 7, 6. Wow! Oh my gosh, that was so fast.
Oh,
and we're done. Tools down. Berries down. Actually, Savea, the marbling came out really nice on that one.
Yeah, isn't it fun?
It's hard because when you marble, it's sort of a crapshoot every time. You never know like what you're gonna get out of it.
So pretty. It's really fun. I've done marbling before, so this was plan B. My first plan was to make a Harvey's purse bag, but it was not not gonna happen.
It's because you don't have an edible printer. That could help you.
Yeah, right?
Eat her printer, but she'll chip some teeth.
James,
Are we ready to
how's
show?
your berry cake looking?
Okay, let me show what I caught. I'm gonna have to dip the camera down to show this.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go. What you're looking at, let me take this here and point it straight down. This is not angled. What you're looking at is Savea when she found out she's going to be vice president, not president.
Okay,
And
you
her
did
little
surprise
eyes
me.
are X's and her tongue sticking out, going, ugh.
I did fully expect that this was going to look flag given the traditional materials and colors, but
Oh, yeah, and
you
she has a bow tie.
surprised me. Here,
She has a bow
so-
tie.
Wow.
I don't know
Okay.
how much is coming out on that, but it should be visible.
It's like it's interesting, like just being kicked while I'm down. I mean, that's like terrible.
No, it's called a happy birthday present.
Yeah, I mean, you asked for a berry cake and he made you a berry cake. So really, it was with you in mind.
Like that. I mean, I don't know.
And I'm still keeping you on the ticket for the presidential ticket. You'll eventually become president because I'll become emperor.
You'll be the emperor, like a Palpatine emperor?
Probably.
Yeah, but not like that. More like, Q from Star Trek.
Like a cute, okay.
He's awesome.
This guy.
All right, so let's see how the contest went that's been towards Savea since she got extra time and stuff.
So what did the experts say?
Well, I mean, you both got extra time technically because you could go till the end of the elongated 10 seconds. I would say that they really pulled it out at the end because with sticking issues and the lack of like powdered sugar and cornstarch, I didn't think she was going to get that fondant off of the mat at all, let alone in one piece. So that was a miracle of television. Yeah. James, you surprised me because I thought you were going American flag given the party convention and the traditional, like, if you look up lots of blueberry strawberry cakes online, they look like an American flag. So your Savea face was a shock to the judge. I did not see that coming, especially the use of cupcake for nose. It's a bold decision. So I'd say technically, like from a technical standpoint, Savea's got an edge, but from a creative standpoint, James has a little bit of an edge. So I think we're gonna have to call it a tie.
The competition continues.
All I can say is Savea's vice president. All right, let me put this in the fridge. That's her
face. That's her face on the cake with a bow tie.
That's my face.
I'm a little bit surprised. You really know how to diffuse the situation with the Civil War tonight. You are very skilled. So with that, I'm gonna cut the camera right here. I'm gonna go back to the studio and get this in the fridge because I've already got somebody in the other room pacing to have a slice.
Pacing back and forth, going, "Is it done yet? Is it done yet?"
Yeah, so he's been waiting. He's wanted to cut this cake all day. So let me get this going, and I'm gonna go to the other room, and I'll be back in just a few.
Yeah. So I know James is really funny. I was like, what's he gonna do with this cake situation? So I don't know. We're gonna eat my cake on Sunday because we're gonna have a couple, like our employees are gonna come over and we're gonna have like a little mini party. And the cake inside, which you can't tell, which I'll show you. I have what do you call the tops of the cakes that you cut off?
So the top, so like you have a cake, you bake the cake, and it's not flat; it's like rounded on the top. You have to cut it flat so it doesn't look crazy. But I call that the cakin. That's the cake bacon, the most delicious piece of cake that you slice off the top, and some people throw away. But anybody who knows anything about cake eats that part.
Chocolate. I did the checkerboard cake, so it's purple. It's purple, pink, and chocolate. It's purple, strawberry, and which is white cake.
Make a little whoopie pie out of those. Like put some icing between. Make a little sandwich.
Yum. That would be very delicious. Very delicious.
All right. I think, is it time to kind of introduce next week's guest before we go into overtime? Because we're supposed to do overtime and like we're here at 11:20. This has been cool. All right, so let's go. Let's get a little business done right quick. Let me get it up here. All right, so let's introduce the contest for next week here, everybody.
Yes.
All right, this is next week's contest. In the spirit of tonight, not dealing with Civil War, let's move that part. Take a photo of yourself eating a dessert while watching Late Night Craft Talk with the show in the background. And then when I say in the background, it's got to look like this. Just imagine Savea eating a cake, like a cupcake or something, or a cake, and the show's got to be on the background. Take a picture of yourself. We're still going to be on a little while. or, you know, you can always do a replay and watch the show a little later because a lot of people will be watching tomorrow because it's late. But then post that picture on Facebook or Instagram and tag Late Night Craft Talk, Dancing Bear Indian Trader, Elk Rack Traders, and Jillycakes. Tag all those. It's got to be public. And then post in the comments when you've done that, and it doesn't have to be tonight live. It has to be over the weekend. Done, and you will be entered into the drawing for next week's prize on next week's show.
Yes.
By liking and sharing these Facebook pages, but sharing them and tagging them. That's what it's supposed to say. Is 11:59 p.m. Sunday night. This Sunday night. So you got 2 days. Get her done. 2
days. You can do it. I know you can.
And remember, get that picture of yourself eating a cupcake or cake, Rice Krispies cowboy hat, Indiana Jones hat, just like Savea.
Or wearing the Rice Krispie Indiana Jones hat.
Yeah.
Pure awesomeness.
Yes.
And let's go. Should we go ahead and introduce our guest next week?
Yes, go for it. Let's do it.
Okay. So our guest next week, everybody, is going to be love this title here. Next week's guest is Sabrina Ingales from Mostly Monsters.
Yes. She has really creative stuff, you guys. Really fun stuff. So
cool stuff.
Yes.
All right. So with that, we're about to go into overtime, but I want to get something out of the way first.
Okay.
Should we do the buffalo?
Sure.
Let's get this done.
I've been waiting for this dumb buffalo for like 2 hours.
It's not a dumb buffalo. It's a smart buffalo, and Savannah outsmarted that buffalo.
This is the okay. So you guys, this is the birthday present that James gave to me today.
Yes, it is. All right, everybody. If you're not familiar, you might have seen something real popular back in the 2000s called Some Guy Riding a Buffalo. Today we have Savea's birthday buffalo song. And buffalo.
One day, Savea was walking along and leaned down and saw this buffalo on a trampoline. She said she'd get that buffalo and throw a saddle on it and ride that buffalo to go visit all her friends. That buffalo started to run and run because he was all excited. Now Savea became known as Savea Riding a Buffalo. Savea visited all her friends and told them about her birthday party at Disneyland. This guy said, "Holy buffalo, we gotta go." Savea said, "Heck yeah, let's go." This guy said, "Let's follow Savea Riding a Buffalo." Savea and her buffalo tried to cross this river, but then the buffalo slipped and they got all wet. Well, as it happened, Savea used that as a chance to clean that shaggy fur and then got back on her buffalo. Savea was just riding along and then she saw a bear. Oh my gosh, it's a bear. But the bear said, "Hold on, you are required to maintain social distancing and wear a mask because there's an outbreak of coronavirus and you have to be careful in large groups." Savea said, "I'm a responsible adult and practice good hygiene and remind everyone of the dangers of COVID-19. You should come with me to Disneyland." The bear said, "No, not that way. That's not the way. So follow me because I know a shortcut by taking the 15 to the 55 and then cut over by Angel Stadium in Anaheim." Now that bear is being followed by Savea Riding a Buffalo. Savea finally made it to Frontierland at Disneyland and she was all tuckered out. Her friends were already there waiting for her because they knew the way and did get stuck on the 91 between Riverside and Yorba Linda, and they pulled her off that buffalo. She got all energized and excited from her friends there to celebrate her birthday, and she got back on for a ride. All Savea's friends got inspired because they watched Savea Riding a Buffalo.
That is the craziness of James, and he can't talk right now.
I was letting you get the first word in because it's your birthday. Like I said, I will tell everybody that wasn't actually Savea on the buffalo. That was a stunt double.
Yeah, so James showed me that video and I started laughing because it's completely ridiculously weird and funny at the same time.
When the bear is like, "No, don't go that way. Disneyland is this way." I think that's my favorite part.
Hey, this is Disney. Animals like sing songs, talk in English.
While they're riding.
What's so far-fetched here? That could be riding a buffalo through there with birds singing above her in English, maybe with a French accent, and a bear can come up and go, well, let's go to Disneyland, but watch out for this disease. Let me warn you about coronavirus.
Yeah, so I think it's really funny that you put in, like, you have to take the 405 to the 55 Fire Angel scene.
It reminded me of that old SNL.
I had to make it sound like definitely a Californian talking.
Do you remember that? It was like the Californians, and it was like Fred Armisen, and
that's exactly where I got it from.
And they'd always be like, yeah, bro, you gotta take the 405.
Yeah, bro. I can't believe it. You gotta.
Yeah.
I can't believe that you did it. And you might be my sister, but how'd you get? You got here over. How'd you have to take the 405 and then cut over by the 15?
Yeah.
And then take the 57 down.
And then they'd all stare in a mirror.
So I'm kind of Australian all of a sudden, and everybody's blonde.
Californians.
Yeah.
I still love the line of hey, yeah. I'm not from the valley. I can't get that accent down. From the Imperial Valley, it's like a bunch of transplanted Texans and Okies. All right. Kind of like the accent you get a little bit the further north you go in Florida. That's Southern accent.
Yes. Okay. So
overtime. Audience questions. If you have, we've already got a few questions for Jillian, and we've got. If you got any more to send, here's your time to ask.
So let's see here. It's like scrolling back through. Okay, Jilly, have you delivered any cakes to the resorts?
Yes. Yeah. No, we do deliveries all the time. We were just at the Contemporary for a giant Mystery Manor cake last week.
That was such a cool cake. Oh my God.
It was massive. It was probably like 70 pounds. It was finished. It was crazy.
Were you bringing it there?
Yeah. Well, the turrets, I had made them and put them on and then took them back off. And so they like rode in another box because it was just too jiggly in the movement of that. But yeah, no, we do deliver pretty much everywhere in all of the like main Orlando and Orlando suburb areas. So yes, Disney resorts and restaurants outside of the park. Obviously, we can't deliver inside of the park.
Yeah. He's like, I flashed my annual pass now.
Yeah, I was like, I have to say that because like people have asked, and I'm like, I have no way to I mean, for employees, like we've delivered to backstage areas inside the park, but not like to guest areas.
Yeah, that'd be kind of weird, right? You're like, here, I need to deliver a cake to the pavilion over there, and they'd be like,
yeah, a lot of people ask for like the Beauty and the Beast restaurant in Fantasyland, and I'm like, how would I get it there? Like, the closest I could park would be like the Contemporary, and then I have to walk it like 17 miles to the restaurant.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. Okay, let's see. So Maya had said that she loved that show, and she said, I watch Food Network and Cooking Channel all the time. And let's see.
I think there's usually reruns. They always rerun our middle episode, which was the fan favorite. That was the one with Lance Bass from NSYNC, and they rerun that like all the time on Hulu and sometimes Netflix, and it's always in that like collection of episodes. So look for fan favorites. That's the like title of the episode.
Okay, so we can watch. We're like, hey, I know her. She was on that show. Yeah. So Maya had a question. She was asking you, how long did it take for you to make the Taco Bell cake?
The Taco Bell cake was done in a couple of stages. So I made all the foods separately because those had to like firm up and dry out. And in Florida, we have the very unique situation of humidity. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times stuff like decorative items like that are not made of cake, that are Rice Krispies or fondant or gum paste or whatever, sometimes need to dry out like 3 to 5 days ahead so that they don't just melt and die off the side of the cake. So the little doodads, the tacos and stuff were made a few days ahead. so that they could have time to dry out. And then like the finished decorating of the cake, I'd say that was like two-tone buttercream, so probably like 2 hours of finished decorating, but like if we add in making the crunch wraps and stuff, maybe like 5 to 6 hours of total work.
Wow. Tabitha said you are very talented.
Thanks, Tabitha.
Myra is saying that your cakes are so cute. And Kelly Jo is saying awesome. She loves the Yoda. And that they're saying that's super rad, that it's so special and personal. She's probably talking about Amaya is talking about the Indiana Jones cake.
Indiana Jones, yeah.
Yeah.
No, and it's a lot of times people are like, oh, like how am I cut into this? Or like, aren't you sad when the cake goes out the door and you know it's just going to, all of those hours of work are just going to be destroyed. But I sort of lived through that gallery of pictures, and even just like going back with you choosing out your favorites and seeing like what you picked as like eye-catching is like, it's a rediscovery of those projects and those moments for me.
Very well put. We have a comment from Wendy Hodge. Should kind of harks back to Doctor Who a little bit. Should have TARDIS in the garage. Look at all the tools you could fit. And it looks like Jilly's frozen in time a little bit, right quick. What a heck of a time to bring up Doctor Who.
He's traveling in time.
Apparently. Oh, okay. You're back. We see it.
Jilly, you traveled in time.
Just as I was mentioning Doctor Who. Crazy.
So let's see. We have there's so
and I love like any of those like pop culture stuff. Anytime people ask for television shows that I love or movies,
do you draw the line at Babylon 5?
Yeah, I won't make it Babylon. Oh, that's ridiculous.
Two thumbs up.
No, I don't.
How about Space 1999?
I get a lot of requests that I don't know, especially in like a lot of obscure children's shows. And I have to, they're like, can you make a whatever googly goo cake? And I'm like, I don't know what that is, but send me the character names and I'll Google it. Like, so a lot of times, and I think that that's how I get into sort of these children's shows as an adult, is I'm like, I need to know more in depth about like, what is this cake that I had to make, or what are these characters
at some point with some of the shows, do you go, what's my life come to?
No
Cool.
Only when I'm singing the Daniel Tiger if you have to go potty song.
do you well, I was just reminding you of that commercial that's on YouTube for the squatty potty.
Yeah. With the ice cream.
Yeah.
And the rainbow, yeah.
which is a real product. Okay.
So Jilly, Karen asked me what job did I have at Disneyland. I actually worked at the Disney store for about 4 years.
I think we talked about this. I worked at the Disney store also in Braintree, Massachusetts.
This was where we're like,
yeah,
okay, same dress, cool colored hair, both former cast members. I love baking cakes. She bakes awesome cakes, both in the creative industry. I mean, this is, and so
it was a little bit sad because the time that I worked at the Disney store was what we call the dark time, when it was owned by the Children's Place.
So,
I forgot about that.
When I worked at the Disney store, it was not owned by the Children's Place. So like I worked back like when we had the really cool stores they were pink.
Like pink and green. Yeah, there's like one left in Florida, in Tampa, and I keep meaning to like, I have to make a pilgrimage to go to it before it's gone forever.
I don't know why they got rid of that concept, because they're so dang cute, like just the cutest stores. And then you have Plush Mountain, like a wall of plush.
Did you when you went to like when you were in Japan, did you go to any of the Disney stores like outside of the park?
I went to the one at the Iskapari or whatever, the one right outside.
No, I mean like if you go, so we went to the like Harajuku one.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
We went to but when we were in Florence, Italy, they have a Disney store there. And that was cool because they had like frescoes in the style of like the Italian masters, but of the Disney characters. So it was like a Florence, Italy themed Disney store, and I was like, this is cool. So and then I just like anytime that there's like, oh, we went to the London Disney store and it had like, you know, some British stuff and a lot of like more Mary Poppins decorations and like a big pumpkin carriage in the middle, that like one side was the carriage, one side was the pumpkin, so you could like take before and after photos. So that was cool. But yeah, I always like to visit like the Disney stores and see how they've decorated them in other places.
I did go to a Hong Kong Disney store, like back in like '99. Like that was pretty cool and that was actually, I went there around New Year's time, so I got that was when I went there, the Beanie Babies were really popular, so I got the New Year's Mickey and Minnie, and that was like a cool thing, and I was so bummed my ID didn't get me a discount.
We have actually kind of could form an interesting question from Wendy Hodge on Facebook. Those cakes are so amazing, it's kind of sad to eat them. Have you had anybody actually, like, when they see the cake, go, that's too pretty, I can't eat it? Or anything kind of like tantamount to that?
I did have a lady who's like made it sort of an off-the-cuff comment about like they were taking pictures of it like a week later or something. So I don't necessarily know for a fact that anybody's just hung on to the cakes. I know that sometimes like the little toppers and doodads, so like I would not be surprised if they like took the crunch wrap off that Taco Bell cake and like sprayed it down with some clear craft spray and kept that forever. That sort of thing happens more often when it's like a wedding thing or like some sort of sentimental thing like that. Maybe the hat from the Indiana Jones cake is floating around there somewhere on the shelf. But yeah, I don't know of anybody that specifically didn't eat the cake because they didn't want to like cut it.
Got it.
But it is an interesting question to ask, because it's like your art is an edible art, you know, and it's like they know, I mean, some people don't realize it, but some people really know how much work goes into it. So
it's funny because when we talk about edible art, so back to like those many years ago when I was working at Disney, it was like a cast member's service celebration, and I decided to make him a replica of the Cinderella castle to bring work. And I was like, you know, like much more remedial than my current abilities, but it had like ice cream cone turrets, you know, that sort of thing. Yeah. And I was working on it till like 3 a.m. to bring it into work the next day. And like I was like, I don't have any fondant, like what am I do for the clock? And so I like cut a little piece of craft foam, like maybe a dime size, drew on it with a little Sharpie and like stuck that on the cake. And like 2 weeks later, one of the people came up to me and was like, oh my God, that cake was so great, I got the clock piece. And I was like, what? So like he ate the clock, the little foam, and I was like, great, cool, candy clock. Yep.
You're kind of like
oh my God, that's so funny.
Now if there's anything inedible, like a little foam or something, I always tell people, because I'm like, you can't trust them not to just go, hey, that looks good, and like take a bite out of it like an apple or something.
Oh my God, that's so funny. You know, one time I was hosting a party and I did all Japanese food, and I had put edamame out. And I mean, I just assume people know you don't eat the pod. It's like you pop the pod out and eat the seed inside it. Yeah. And so this one person came up to me and like, yeah, these are really hard to eat. And they were eating the whole thing. And I was like, oh yeah, you're not supposed to eat that. Oh, well, I would have appreciated you telling me that.
Yeah. So now anytime there's even like a wood skewer holding something up, I'm like, just, you know, like there's a stick in there, and like pull that out and then eat the cake. Don't eat the foam clock.
That's so funny. I was expecting you to say that they saved it.
No. Much worse than that.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Really hot in here. I have to turn the AC on. I'm starting to sweat.
Well, with your
We're almost
glitter
getting to the point that if we tell a few more jokes, Sabea's going to actually cut her camera for like a minute because she's got to go off laughing so hard. We got a few like that. We're getting kind of
That's
headed.
not a joke. That's a true story that clock got eaten. That's real life.
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes you wonder if you got to put up big warnings. It's like, boy,
like honored to have had the clock piece.
Oh.
well, I can tell you, if you put a real clock in there, you can set it up. This dude could be ticking, and you'll know when he's coming, just like the crocodile in Peter Pan. Might be able to help with like a little warrant. You know, somebody's got a parole or something.
Yeah, so one time I made Dan a Nintendo. You remember the Nintendo, the gray one, the two-tone gray one, where it had the cartridge so it would click in, and you have to pop it down, and it doesn't work. You have to kind of double pop it sometimes.
Blow on the cartridge, yeah.
Yeah, so I made Dan one of those as a cake. And I put a little LED light, a little red LED light in to look like it was turned on. I thought that was kind of a cute thing.
Did he eat the light? Is that where this is going? No, he knew better than that.
Yeah, he knew better. But one time I tried to play a trick on him because he would do these things where he would like have this little resin like snake thing. He like, hey, look at this. And he puts it in my face and like I get startled, right? And so I was really mad at him. So I'm like, I'm going to like play a prank on him, right? So I take the salad and I have this like imitation cockroaches and I just kind of put them underneath and kind of in the salad. And, you know, I just wanted to surprise him. And like, I'm like watching him eat the salad. He's like stabbing it with a fork and, you know, and I was like, he's not even going to see that. Like, he's not going to see that. He's like stabbing it. He's like, and I saw him. I was like, Dan, open your mouth. He like didn't even see. So yeah, he almost ate a plastic cockroach in a salad. It didn't work.
Well, they just get kind of his mentality that night going, I'm hungry, and he just focused. Maybe it's the hunter-gatherer mentality.
So Wendy says that her
nothing. It's not going to relate really.
For a friend, just like what I did. Wendy Hodge said that her son had made a Nintendo cake for a friend.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Consoles are pretty popular. PlayStations, a lot of Xboxes.
So what would you say is your ultimate favorite cake that you've ever made? Like from the beginning to now, which one is the most favorite cake you've ever made?
That's tough. That's a hard question.
Don't use the quarter that we used to decide, that Sabea and I used to decide who's going to be president.
It was double-headed, so that like each side was the same. So when James is like, you want to pick tails? I'm like, sure. And so I throw it up because like I have dogs, right? So I think of dog tails, right? And he throws it up in the air and he does this. Oh, it's heads. It was probably heads on both sides.
Well, let's just say that story's about as believable and real as Sabea's purple background there.
This is real glitter, guys.
So I think that it's less about I couldn't pick a favorite as far as like one cake to the other, because there's like the Indiana Jones cake. I love that cake. I love the mansion cake. I love like different parts of different things. But I think that for me, like as like a self like reflective thing, and it's stupid because we know my feelings on Olaf. But I keep a side-by-side picture of the first Olaf cake that I ever made and the most recent one. Also, both of them three-dimensional. And they were made 5 years apart, almost to the day. And so I keep that like side-by-side visual to show myself, like if I'm having like a down day of like, oh, I can't bake for crap and I don't know how to do anything and nothing's working because everything's 1,000-degree humidity. And so I sort of use that side by side of the two Olaf cakes as like a regrouping mentally to be like, this is how far you've come in those 5 years. And like you're clearly not giving yourself enough credit mentally for your abilities. So that's sort of, I think that is probably at least the pictures that I look at the most.
That's a good answer.
Yeah,
Fair.
we have a question from Wendy Hodge, which is actually going to be the same question I was going to ask. So right there, is there a cake you haven't made yet that you would like to make? Do you have like a dream project? You just been able to get to like this pet project you want to do.
I mean, the thing is that I don't know the dream projects until they like happen to me because they're sort of kind of weird. Like I looking back on it, I'm like, oh, a dream project was making a new roller coaster unveiling for Busch Gardens, but I wouldn't have been able to pick that out in my mind. Like, hey, someday I hope that when somebody puts in a new ride, they ask me to make a cake of it before they show it to people. So that's sort of like, you can't really know those things before they come down the pipe.
Wow.
But I mean, there's things that I love that are like themes that nobody ever asks for. Like, I wish people would want some more like Princess of Power stuff, some like 80s, like Voltron. I'd love to make like a Voltron cake.
Voltron.
Yeah,
All
just
the
like
lions.
with the lions and like
Except
it'd be
for
so cool.
Except for Netflix's remake. Netflix is a remake of the cartoon.
Yeah, like more like 80s stuff or like, I don't know, just stuff that I'm into. I'm always like, oh yeah. But so yeah, I would love some like Gem and the Hologram stuff. Nobody asked for that.
Cool.
Maybe one day someone will get nostalgic.
Yeah.
Eating a cookie.
Yeah. If you want some, here, let me give you here. I have a cookie for you. I'll hand it over to you.
Oh, thank you.
I have a cookie.
Yeah, here. Here you can have it.
Thank you very much.
Empty gummies.
Oh, I'm
You
sorry.
handed me a chocolate cupcake.
Oh, I'm sorry. I know. I had the gummy bears and I just thought, I have this cookie. I'm going to finish it myself.
All I know is I got a chocolate cupcake from Savea.
I mean, it's like, what time is it? It's almost 3 a.m. for me, so I probably shouldn't.
Get a little goofy. We probably need to do a sympathy, Maya says Voltron was awesome. Oh my gosh, right on. At this point, sometimes we go late enough, we go long because we're going long. We all get kind of like,
You said there's a question.
well, one reason we eat a lot of candy and stuff, cookies during the show.
Yeah, well,
Walk it off for 2 hours.
I admittedly did take a nap between our like dry run of the technology parts. 4 hours ago, I took a nap, and then that's why I was like, "Do I have pillow face?" Like, came on here. But then in a rush, I ate these gummies so that I didn't just fall asleep.
That's why I pace myself between the Cracker Jacks, the cupcake, some other stuff, chips. I just kind of like pace and have a variety. The trick is I have to go to sleep, and I gotta leave my house at 4 a.m. So I'm gonna be zombie tomorrow.
Okay. Hey,
But-
so we have a couple questions from our Gmail account.
Okay.
The first one is, so when you're on those shows, could you bring a secret ingredient in? Do they let you bring something secret in?
No, we can't bring any of the ingredients. They tell you the secret, and then you have to use it.
You bring your own flour or
No, I mean, like we're allowed to, so like we go and shop for like our brand of flour, our brand of sugar, and that sort of stuff. And then any of the like specialty ingredients like fruits and flavorings, like you're talking about curry and fish and all of that, they provide that. So yes, we can use. It's actually the first episode we were noobs, so we didn't know like what if you've done an episode before, and they send you a list ahead that's like, here's all the equipment that we have, this type of spatula, this type of mixer, whatever, and you get there and very quickly realize that list is just compiled of the junk that the other teams have left behind over the various seasons.
Wow.
And that it's not like they don't like make a kit of like, here's the stuff. They just sort of take an inventory of like, yeah, what's over here? Okay, we got like a whisk and a thing, and like in the middle of one of the rounds, the like whisk fell apart, and so Jalen, my assistant, like reached into the like fake display of stuff behind us. There's like those racks of like decorative candy jars and garbage, and there was like a whisk, and she's like pointing to our like kitchen producer Steve, being like, can I, like, this one's broken, can I take that one off the display? And so the next time we did not make that mistake, and we like brought all of our own spatulas and pans and all of that.
We have a question, email question that came in from Dan Von Buskirk. Do you know Mary Berry from the British Baking Show? She dislikes using shop bought fondant. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that I use way too many pounds of fondant in a general day to ever make it myself. Plus, the humidity in Florida would be near impossible to like. When you make your own fondant out of marshmallows or whatever, it's like the consistency of it is much stickier and stringier than a commercially manufactured fondant. So and I like to use sometimes I use Satin Ice. I like to use the Fat Daddy-O brand. I find that their flavor is a little bit superior to the Satin Ice, and also they're the only company that makes brown that isn't chocolate flavored. So I'm like, a lot of people want handbags and suitcases and Indiana Jones stuff, but it's not necessarily a chocolate cake, so nobody wants it to taste like a Tootsie Roll on the outside. So
yeah. But yeah, that's, it's not necessarily easy. So you're buying the fondants pre-colored?
Yeah, I mean, I have to color anything that's weird, like any pastels are usually the way they come out of the tub is not how I need them to be, but it's closer than if I had to add that much food coloring to white. It would just be so wet in Florida. It'd be like impossible to work with. But I would say like every week I go through at least 2 of the 30-pound tubs, the like big size ones, and probably 6 or 8 of the 5-pound tubs in the colors.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like it would be an entire job every day, every week to make fondant. It was just, sorry, Mary, I appreciate you, but in real life application, that's not making anybody any money.
Yeah. I'm hearing from best described as the Florida summer with the humidity. It's like everything's Velcro. You got to peel yourself off everything.
Yeah. No, I actually have to run a dehumidifier like right next to me while I do stuff, just so it doesn't stick to arms and everywhere.
So we're going to start wrapping this up, but I have one last question for you. Mm-hmm. So do you think, or what has happened for you, your business, since you were on Cupcake Wars and you won some of them, right? So, did that help? Like, how did that help your business?
I mean, it's free advertising. I would say I've never formally advertised other than being on TV. I am a very big proponent of word of mouth, and like if there's a lot of clients that I've had for 5, 6 or more years where it's like I made their wedding cake, and then I made their baby is getting born, and then their kid's first birthday. And so I've had a lot of people that have celebrated a lot of milestones, and then tell their friends and tell their friends, and so it's like a big network of client growth over the years. But being on TV obviously is you can't buy that sort of advertising. So and especially when they do reruns, like it sort of falls out. The first episode we just shot in 2012, so it sort of goes away for a while and you kind of forget about it, other than like the stamp website, and then it goes on Hulu or Netflix and people saw it yesterday, and so it's brand new again. And so that sort of the age of streaming services has given new life to all of those sorts of shows. So that's cool. When we could talk to people and hug people and see people and all of that, I did like, you know, people would come in going to Disney or going to attractions around the area and be like, and we stopped by to see you because we saw you on TV. So that's always
That's nice.
cool. So it's sort of sad now that we can't really have that type of interaction, but maybe again soon.
Hoping, crossing one set of fingers, not two, because two undoes the second.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to reverse the polarity twice.
Exactly. So this has been a really great show, and it's been a lot of fun, and I'm so glad that you got a chance to come on our show. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. And if I come to California anytime next year,
Totally.
I probably will.
Hey,
As
I'm
soon-
going to California.
As soon as Marvel Land opens, I'm there. I was going to be there, but then the world imploded. But they dropped in the Quinjet, so we're getting closer every day.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was going to be a Marvel Land at Disneyland.
Yeah, no, not at Disneyland, at California Adventure.
California Adventure.
Yeah.
It's like me. Anything past Riverside is Los Angeles to me. All big city. It's just like it's all kind of Disneyland to me. But I'm an ignorant hick.
Ride in a
Well,
buffalo.
horses. Bring up buffalo and have horses in the background over here. About as real as that. So they riding that buffalo. It is.
Take the 405 down to the 15 and the.
You know what though?
No
Seriously,
kidding.
way to go
Whoa.
to San Diego to Disneyland. If you have a carpool buddy, is you take the 5 to the 405 to the 55. 405 carpool connects to the 55 carpool, which connects to the 5 carpool, and then you're like right at Disneyland. And the thing
While you're riding your buffalo.
Well, we won't do it because it's, you know, that is actually, you know, she's earning carbon offsets by riding that buffalo.
You guys want to see the
Not using gasoline.
You guys want to see the
Let me try the California accent from where I live to get over to Disneyland. You get on the 10 and you get to the 60, and then from there you hop on the 91. No, I'll go with it. I can't nailing it, and I am from California. You go to the 91 on the 55, and then back on the 91. You cut around Anaheim, and you're there, and you're going, I'm a Disneyland.
Okay.
Marginal.
So you guys want to see the cone cam? Here's the cone cam.
Here's the cone
Cam. So sweet.
Yeah. He's awake now.
I was hoping to eventually do the cone cam tonight. All right, we need to wrap. I want to do the Scott Pilgrim ending.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's do the Scott Pilgrim.
Do you have the ukulele? Because I don't have the kazoo.
You don't have the kazoo?
I could get it in like 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
All right.
I was
give
like,
me
I
30.
didn't have any drumsticks, but I had a
Yeah.
spatula.
I will very quickly grab. Hold on. Too many buttons. I will quickly grab the kazoo.
Okay, so for those of you guys who don't know what we're doing, there's a movie that I was made aware of, and Dan actually apparently had seen it and didn't tell me. It's called Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I didn't know that you would be into it.
And
Okay.
it's relevant to me why.
We always look for like some cool inside jokes and stuff we do for the.
Okay, if
the
you
weekly
guys
guest.
go, if anybody who's out there watching, if you go to YouTube and you search Jillycakes audition video, you have to realize that like the movie was fresh at the time that we did that audition tape. So 2011, that was hot stuff and it made sense. Now nobody understands what we're talking about, but we're doing it for our own humor, nonsense.
It doesn't have to make sense. It might eventually make sense, but it doesn't have to make sense now.
And this isn't going to sound anything like it, guys. So just,
Here we go. All right. Who wants to do the introduction? Usually it's the drummer.
I'll do it. I'm the drummer.
Okay. We'll play the song just to going through it, and then we'll roll the credits. Ready, everybody? Let's go out.
We are Sex for Mom, and we are here to ride buffaloes and stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Aw, ain't he cute?